So my girlfriend and I were watching the second part of Making a Murderer, the Netflix series about Steve Avery and the Dassey kid who supposedly killed Teresa. Let's. I wanted to talk about something though, because we had some theories of who did it, and my like top suspects are one, Ken Kratz. He knows way too much about the case and like all these like weird little details. And Ken Kratz had those sexual assault charges on him, which kind of got hushed hush. But now he's not a DA. He doesn't even have a law license anymore. He lost all of it. But yet he's holding press conferences after the fact. Like he's nobody at that point. Why should he be allowed to say anything? Secondly, I did have a strong feeling that the ex. Now, I had two theories about the ex. One, the ex just like loved Teresa and she didn't love him back to the same degree, so he cared about her enough to like search for her when like the case was going down. Or two, he's guilty as hell and he actually killed her. And he's trying to cover it up by being like extra helpful. You see that all the time in cases where like the main suspect is extra careful with everyone. He's extra helpful, like, hey, let me do this and that for you, because he knows that he could get caught. I had one other suspect too, and it was Dassey's brother, the one that looked up all like the sexual weirdness, like the bestiality and like the dead bodies and women drowning, and you don't know a lot about that, but that's like a new thing. It was all on his PC. I had a feeling like this is kind of my theory that went down. Like he, Dassey's brother, actually followed Teresa out of the Avery lot, back up onto the main road, somehow flagged her down or maybe even cut her off, and that's how the damage happened on the front left of her vehicle. Then they pulled into the that like half road that led into the quarry. It was like Ken Road or Carl Road or something like that. And then that's when he did his business. He attacked her, killed her, or whatever, did some weird shit. Because his computer search history is completely weird. And if you hear about that in any other cases, you're like, so basically they look this crap up until they get so excited that they have to act on those urges. And maybe that's what went down, because he was the only one that was like, yeah, it was Avery, even though he was there at the exact same time Teresa was there, which I find kind of funny. And if you're there at the crime scene and you have like that kind of weird sexual history and you see this girl out there, I mean, maybe. Um, I don't know. Ken Kratz, he just seems too odd to me, like a big, giant, complaining baby of some kind, who's got the biggest ego I've ever seen, which is weird because he's like hella fat and just kind of a nasty. He's got a nasty like personality about him, and yeah, the only other person I thought that maybe could do it is the roommate. Randomly, like, she comes home, he kills her. I do think they should do some forensic testing at her house. I don't know if they've ever done that, but they should do that. Why did they like dig up that first initial burial site or dig up the whole area to see if there's like any remnants of her at all? Because there would still be something, clothing, jewelry, anything really. And one other thing I was going to talk about is, I do believe though that the brother had something to do with it, Dassey's brother, because he was on the property, right? He knew about Teresa. He knew who she was. He was there at 2:30. He said he was going to go hunting at 3. That's right when Teresa was going to go meet up with her mother, which she had in a planner that day. So she was probably rolling back. Like, it's a good amount of drive to where she had to meet her mom, so she was definitely going. Like, my girlfriend does like planners, and she's always super on point when it comes to time frame stuff, and most women are. So she was definitely heading over to where she said she was going. But then her phone only pinged like right there, which I'm like, that brings up the fact that he could have like cut her off or flashed her down, say, hey, you forgot something. Let's just cut through this side road and we can go get it at Avery's trailer, right? Boom, dead. So believe what you want about the case, but it definitely wasn't Steve Avery. and it wasn't his nephew, because they just don't. I don't feel like they have the mental capacity to have sex or do sexual things. Like when I saw that kid, I was like, no, there's no way that kid can have sex. He's just so weird looking and like shy and stand up. How do you even get aroused in that situation of like violence and stuff, you know? And yeah, I'm pooping right now, but I wanted to have a poopy conversation with you because it's a poopy topic, okay? But I'm almost done. So yeah, that's my theory. I think it was, my first suspect is Dassey's brother, who was there at the crime scene at the time it happened. He's also the only one that corroborated to say that it was Steve Avery that did it, which I think is fucked up family-wise. Two, it's either it might be King Krat. He's probably like the devil incarnate, and he thinks he's like some hierarchy of person, even though he's literally nothing. He's the type of guy that would pull you over with a fake badge and like try to claim that he's still a prosecutor or the law, you know? He's one of those mega Karens. Or it's someone completely random, like the roommate. Or when the case gets solved finally, it's like someone completely random. Like it was just happened perchance that her car broke down or something. Another suggestion that my girlfriend was talking about, say Teresa comes to the property, right? It's a newer vehicle, but say she was having some sort of electrical issues, and this would explain, unless they planted the evidence underneath the hood latch, you know? Maybe she was like, hey, I'm having some issues with my car. Can you check it out? He's a auto mechanic dude. It's not too far-fetched that he would be like, okay, look, pop your hood. She pops the hood. He does the latch. Maybe he's like, maybe it's a simple electrical issue. So he's like, you know, wiggling some wires or something, you know? And then maybe that's how his DNA got on it. I do believe that the blood was planted though in the car. Like it just doesn't match anything. It doesn't make any sense as to why it's there. And like, why would it be in the back side of the door? So yeah, it's one of those things that we're thinking about all the time. And I'm luckily, I think it's Kathleen, his lawyer, still on the case as of now. If you don't know about that, she's still currently fighting. And her like the rate of wins for her is huge. She always tends to win. And I would be terrified if I was the prosecutor doing all that crap that you thought was going to go away and it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, because King Kratz will definitely be put in jail or prison or something eventually. And so will those two seedy cops, that lurch-looking dude and that one terribly bald guy. So yeah, those are my thoughts as of now. We're still going to watch the rest of part 2. I already know like most of the case, so I know he doesn't get out, but yeah, we'll see.